Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very special guest with us at the moment. He is the face of the next generation of the Telugu Desam. He is one of the most important ministers at the moment in the government in Andhra Pradesh. Please welcome Nara Lokesh, Minister for IT, Electronics and Human Resources Development Education in the government of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you very much, Lokesh, for joining us. I must confess, when I see you today, I feel very old. I interviewed your late grandfather in the early 1990s, the legendary N.T. Ramarao, then your father, who's now a four-time chief minister, and now the grandson. How easy is it to come out of the shadows of NTR and Chandrababu Naidu and establish an identity for yourself? Are you still seen, or do you still see yourself as the son of Chandrababu Naidu and the grandson of NTR in public life?
Thank you, Rajdeep. Thanks for having me here. The first question is a curveball, clearly.
It's not a curveball.
No, I see myself as a Karyakarta of Telugu Desam Party. So once the Karyakartas and the leaders agree to it, and when they believe I'm ready, I'm ready. Saying that, of course, coming from a political background, being a third generation politician, it just makes it 10 times harder. And having a leader like Mr. Naidu is not an easy task. He's a taskmaster. He expects us to deliver at the same order that he delivers. And I think that's what makes this entire journey even more rewarding for me personally.
So he doesn't treat you as a son, he treats you as the Karyakarta. You've got to prove yourself.
I'm actually at a greater disadvantage because I get to see him every day. So if he's upset on anything, the first person who's going to hear it is me. So I'm actually at a greater disadvantage than any other leader in my party.
But I have to ask you, what does a graduate from Carnegie Mellon, one of the world's best universities, then goes to Stanford, does an MBA, do in the heat and dust of Andhra Pradesh? Can't be easy making that transition. Do you believe you finally made that transition successfully? Are you completely comfortable now in the badlands of Andhra Pradesh when it comes to politics?
I mean, Carnegie Mellon undergrad, a Stanford MBA is for India. And a Padayatra was for Bharat. So I did a Padayatra and I really understood my motherland far better. I've come to understand the nuances far better. I'm able to connect to issues far better. So I truly believe that the transition is complete and I'm able to contribute in Mr. Naidu's cabinet quite successfully.
Was the Padayatra the turning point? 2023, 226-day Padayatra, more than 3,000 kilometers is what Nara Lokesh traveled at the time. It transformed your image. Was that the moment where you realized, now this is what I want to do, hit the ground, be with the people of my state? Did it transform your image, your life in a way?
No, absolutely. Stanford MBA is good for business. A Padayatra is very, very important for politics. I think it enabled me to understand my state much better. I've understood the issues much better. My EQ is far higher than it was before a Padayatra. And today I'm able to relate to what an MLA says much better. Because I was there, I walked in his constituency for 2-3 days. I connected with people, I would have frequent interactions. So I believe now that the circle is complete and I'm able to contribute far better.
Let's turn to that contribution. You're Minister for Electronics, for IT and for Education. Your father in many ways is seen as the builder of modern day Hyderabad using digital technology. He was talking of dashboards and digital technology long before any other politician did. Is that going to be, how do you see taking your father's interest in the digital economy to the next level? We are in the world of AI. From IT to AI. Is that the transition that's going to take place from Chandrababu Naidu to Nara Lokesh? Are you going to build a new Hyderabad somewhere in Andhra Pradesh?
Well, we're going to build a new data city in Visakhapatnam. So no second thoughts about it. See, Hyderabad and India was a beneficiary of the Y2K revolution. Everyone knows that. And I believe we are now at the cusp of the next revolution. And states that position themselves with quality manpower and an ecosystem which enables speed of doing business, I believe we can leapfrog, and Andhra Pradesh is now at the right point.
what is it about the Telugu people or Telugu speaking people or Andhrites, Telanganahites? They've taken over the IT world. They've almost had a head start. You look around you, look at America, look at even in India, many of the leading companies are headed by people from your state. How do you then translate that into an entire ecosystem for a state like Andhra Pradesh and ensure, as you say, create these IT data city centers? How tough is that going to be?
I believe that we are today competing with all other states. We have amazing quality manpower now in our state. And as a HRD minister, I'm focused on revamping our entire curriculum from KG to PG and preparing next generation thought leaders also coming out of our state. And
How?
that's why. So I'm working with the industries. I'm working with the NVIDIAs of the world to do centers of excellence, to understand the kind of curriculum that we need to create, the intersection of technology in language, arts, and various other forms in humanities, and looking at how can we revamp the entire curriculum. And that's exactly what we are now doing in Andhra Pradesh.
Because it's very interesting, you initiated for what I think was almost revolutionary in a way. You've created WhatsApp services. Mana Mitra is what it's called. The Andhra Pradesh government offers 200 citizen services now through WhatsApp. 1 month since installation, you've already got 2 million users. Yep. And I'm told 80.2% in the recent survey have said they're happy with it. Do you believe that's the future? Because governments in the past have been accused of not doing enough to connect with citizens once they get elected. Do you believe WhatsApp is one of the weapons, in a way, or instruments that can be used to connect to people on scale in real time?
I mean, let's just take a step back. The whole idea started from my Padayatra, where people were questioning me, saying that, I push a button, I get food, I get groceries, I can watch a movie. Why is government not so proactive? A simple point that was raised every day, day in, day out. It started with that simple idea. And today, we are one of the very few governments in the world to bring close to 200 services on a single number. And by end of this month, we'll have close to 350 services, and the mandate with which we're working is to bring each and every government services online on WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is just a medium. It could be any other platform.
Give me an example. Give me an example of a service that you believe can be effectively used through WhatsApp to connect to a large number of people in real time.
Let's talk about certificates. I'll give you a great example. Getting your basic things like your caste certificate is made with corruption at the grassroots level. Today you can get on WhatsApp. Your 10th class board exam hall tickets. You have to go to the school and you have to just wait there, hope the principal is there or the authority is there to give you the certificates. You can get on WhatsApp today. So that's how dynamic things can be. And that's what we have now achieved in Andhra Pradesh. And I believe it's just the beginning. And we're really excited on the next wave of services that we'll bring on. And eventually I want to even bring land records to such platforms to make it very transparent to transact and use technology like blockchain.
Because we are at the cusp of a moment where AI is likely to disrupt lives. Do you believe AI can be an enabler for governance, or will AI end up being a replacement or a disruptor in the truest sense?
I mean, if you accept it, if you adapt to it, it'll definitely transform our lives. If you resist it, you'll be out of a job. As simple as that. So as a government, we believe that AI is here. It is going to be the next wave, and we have to be ready for it. Our citizens have to be ready for it. Our students have to be ready for it. And the state has to be ready for it.
But are there some states which have a competitive advantage? I give the example of Telangana. We had Revamp Reddy sitting where you were yesterday. He said Hyderabad is the city of the future. To that extent, a newer state like Andhra Pradesh, you're saying you'll make Visakhapatnam into the next data city. Do you lack a competitive advantage compared to a Bengaluru, which had a huge advantage courtesy Y2K? You have Telangana, which has an advantage because of the Hyderabad's location. Is it going to be tougher for some states?
See, Karnataka has Bangalore, Tamil Nadu has Chennai, Telangana has Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh has Chandrababu Naidu. He is our competitive advantage. So he is a person who drives all of us on speed of doing business. I mean, I'll give you an example of it. I think it was a 17th cabinet meeting. And at the end of the cabinet meeting, he took out the report on how many files each minister is sitting and how much time is each minister taking to clear files. And believe me, after that cabinet, Yesterday I was watching my Home Minister, Anita Ji's secretary was running behind her and I was wondering what is he doing with an iPad. I mean, Home Minister iPad doesn't go well. It's basically a file came, we have to clear the file, otherwise time lag jayegi. Jaldi karo. I mean, that's the competitive advantage that we have. And that's Mr. Naidu. And look at what we are doing with Amravati all over again. We'll have announcements in the data city now coming up in Visakhapatnam. Yesterday, we signed with Tata Power a 7 gigawatt renewable energy project that's going to come in Andhra Pradesh. I mean, these are just few of the examples that we've now been able to achieve.
You mentioned Chandrababu Naidu ji, and Chandrababu Naidu Garu saw himself almost as a CEO of Hyderabad and Telangana. He told me something before, during the election campaign, that had I not been chief minister at the time, who knows, I'd be CEO of Google and I'd do a better job. And that, he had that self-confidence. He believed he was the real initiator of what happened. But do you see yourself as that? Not a politician, but now more a sort of CEO style. Is that the style that you prefer in a way?
I'm more a common man.
Oh, come on.
For me, that's what makes this entire journey even more rewarding. Intersection of technology and solving common problems. See, we can talk about AI, we can talk about e-gov, we can talk about e-files, all that is great. But if not for my Padayatra, I wouldn't have understood that delivering certificates is such a challenge. And this entire Manamitra, which is our friend, concept wouldn't have come about. So I believe that while technology is here, we should embrace it. We shouldn't get carried away with it. We should look at how do we harness the strength of the technology for the benefit of the common man. And that's where I believe that I have best of both worlds. I can harness the technology for our citizens.
Very interesting, because another interesting concept which your government and your chief minister is planning is a skill census. He's already started the rest of India is talking of a caste census. Chandrababu Naidu is talking of a skill census. Do you believe that's really the future, to find out what skills do people have rather than find out what caste they belong to?
In fact, caste census is a lot easier. Caste census is a lot easier than a skill census. I've realized that.
Why?
That's under me. It's under the Skill Development Corporation, which is under HRD Ministry. The biggest challenge that I am facing right now is how do you assess skills across so many traits? And how can individuals how can you create that symbiotic relationship between them, and then look at a lifelong journey of learning. And that's what makes it exciting, but challenging. Mm-hmm. We've done a pilot in my own constituency, which is Mangalgiri. I've learned a lot from that pilot. And now we are fine-tuning the entire process. And we're looking forward to actually rolling it out across the state.
You believe it's possible to scale up across this country? We could have a skill census which could actually transform the country much more than a caste census. Am I right?
Absolutely. I truly believe it.
You can scale it across India.
I believe India can do it. If there's any country that can do it, India can do it. We have the technology, we have the UID platform. We can really substantially leapfrog in that sense.
Fascinating. This is the interesting part where you stand out as a politician with a difference. Let's turn, therefore, to some of the political questions. Your HRD and education. There's this entire debate now raging with the southern states taking the lead, particularly MK Stalin, on the new education policy and the 3-language formula. Your father was asked this question 2 days ago in Delhi. He said, I'm not against Hindi. We should be a multilingual country. You can have as many languages as possible. Is that how you see it? That you can't restrict yourself, in fact, even to 3 languages, allow students to learn as many languages as they want? Or do you fear, like Stalin does, that this will lead to the imposition of Hindi?
I don't believe impositions will happen in India. I believe every state is unique. And when I met the education minister, he was more insisting me on promoting Telugu in my own state and as a medium of education. So there's a great thrust from India government to promote local languages and mother tongue, number one. Number two, I agree. I mean, Mr. Naidu is leading from the front. If you look at it, it's not just about 3 languages. Our kids should learn German, Japanese, because that's the next wave of jobs that's opening up for us. I've seen that. Like nurses, home care, there's huge opportunity now in Germany and in Japan. And as a skill development minister, I've now inked an agreement to actually teach German to nurses so that they can have mobility and they can actually go to Germany and render their services there. There's an agreement where we're going to teach even Japanese to nurses. So I think this is just a beginning, and India can have a very strategic role to play. And I believe it's important to learn multiple languages.
So you're not going to take a cue from what MK Stalin is saying. You're saying, be multilingual, don't see this as imposition of Hindi. You would in fact like probably Telugu to be spoken in some North Indian states.
Why not? I think that should be the way. Give the kids the opportunity to learn what they would want to learn. See, I'm reasonably fluent in Hindi. It helps me in my life. अच्छा है. Hyderabad से हूँ ना. So, for me, I believe it's important. It's important to survive in this day and age. It's important to learn multiple languages.
There's an even bigger time bomb brewing, it seems, in the southern states. I mean, the word time bomb has been used by MK Stalin, which is delimitation. Do you believe that Andhra Pradesh will join the chorus of the southern states calling for an all-party meeting, calling for clarity from the center when it comes to delimitation? Do you fear, as Stalin says, that the southern states will lose out to the states of the Hindi heartland simply because of population numbers?
To be fair, the entire population control should not be used against the southern states. I agree with that logic. But saying that the NDA government has made it very clear that the current ratios will be maintained. Mm-hmm. So just because some states have elections and they're making it an election issue, I don't believe Andhra Pradesh should jump onto the bandwagon. If there's anything, as an NDA partner, we will have a conversation and we can resolve things.
You see yourself, therefore, as NDA partners, not as partners of some broader southern coalition that MK Stalin wants to create on delimitation.
See, our support to NDA was always unconditional. We joined the NDA unconditionally. We continue to support India unconditionally. And I believe that today we have a voice at the table and we will use it at the appropriate forum.
It's interesting you're saying you have a voice at the table. People, the buzz in Delhi is if Nara Lokesh or Chandrababu Naidu come to Delhi, all doors open up for them. Are you extracting a price for your support from the NDA government? Any project that Andhra Pradesh needs is always given priority. We saw it in the 2024 budget as well. This is Andhra Pradesh once again getting back into the game. So it suits you, right? When you say voice at the table, is it a voice at the table or is it extracting?
See, Telugu Desam party might be a regional party, but we believe in India first. And our approach has always been that. Please look at us during Vajpayee ji's tenure. Look at telecom deregulation. Opening up highways, opening up our airports, ports. The first private airport came in combined Andhra Pradesh in Hyderabad. The first private port was in Andhra Pradesh. So we believe that we contribute to nation's building. In that whole process, like any other state would benefit from it, Andhra Pradesh benefits from it by being the first mover. But that's it. Not beyond that.
No, it's interesting because 5 years ago, you all were with with Rahul Gandhi and the Congress. 5 years later, you're back to Mr. Modi and the BJP. More comfortable here than you were on the other side, or simply being on the right side of power, what a state like Andhra Pradesh needs at the moment?
No, if you look at it, pre-2024 elections, we've extended our support unconditionally. It was unconditional. We walked into India unconditionally. We continue to support India unconditionally. And our contribution is more towards nation's building. And in the whole process, yes, Andhra Pradesh might be the first mover advantage, might have it. I think there's nothing wrong in it.
Okay, let me turn
There's no policy just for Andhra Pradesh. There's a policy for India.
Okay, there is the soft side of Nara Lokesh, well-spoken, Stanford graduate, focusing on e-governance. There's the other side, apparently, which Andhrites tell me, which is the Red Book. You've got this Red Book, which has all the names of the YSRCP leaders who targeted your party. And one by one, you are in some way eliminating them. You're targeting them, eliminating them. That is the darker side of this politics of vendetta. Jagan Reddy targeted you, put your father in jail. You are determined to finish him off. Is this the politics of vendetta? What is this Red Book? Can you show it to us?
No, see, I think that...
Is there a Red Book?
Yes, Red Book does exist. I've showed it in all the public meetings of my Padayatra. But I think there's a lot of context to it and people should appreciate that. a graduate from Stanford. I have 23 cases foisted against me in the last 5 years. 23. There's a false SC/ST case against me. There's an attempt to murder case filed against me. So as a next generation politician and as a young leader of this great country, I believe that there's a responsibility on us to restore the fundamentals of our democracy. People who broke the law have to face the music of the law. And that's all I've been saying. And we followed the due process of the law. So you cannot hold it against me that I'm implementing the law of the land. If I did break the law, do take action against me. I have no qualms on it. I was a minister in the past term, third term of Mr. Naidu. They couldn't find any fault in any of my files. Any of my files. Because I've done nothing wrong. But I believe it's important to restore the fourth pillar of the democracy, and we are doing it.
But is there an element of vendetta in that? That you are now out to somehow or the other do to Jagan Mohan Reddy what you believe Jagan Mohan Reddy did to you, your father, your party. And therefore Andhra Pradesh will once again get caught in this vortex of vendetta politics.
Now, this is the same question I've been asked every month for the last 9 months. It's been 9 months. Have you seen it? Have you seen it happen? Absolutely not. Everyone is happy. Things are going on. Massive investments are coming into Andhra Pradesh today. The entire ecosystem is moving forward.
But there are also YSRCP leaders who say their houses are being raided, their workers are being attacked.
Absolutely not. I mean, if I do take a leaf out of Jagan's textbook, it will be very difficult for him to go out then. Because he didn't let us even go out and protest. They would tie our gate. And they won't let the Honorable Chief Minister or myself to even step out of our own house. But today Jagan is moving freely in Andhra Pradesh. We never stopped him. In fact, he gets more security than our Deputy Chief Minister. So where is vendetta politics coming in from?
Even when the Tirupati Laddu controversy broke up a few months ago, that also became, is this vendetta politics at work? Chandrababu Naidu trying to take over in a way, whatever the management of Tirupati, there was term versus Jagan who tried to control it earlier. Is all of this tangled in politics? Lokesh, do you believe it's important to break away from that to build a better state?
No. Tirupati is very, very personal for Mr. Naidu because his ancestral home looks at one of the hill. So he's grown up seeing the Lord and taking his blessings. It is a fact that he came across a report that tested the ghee that made those claims. And he said that, he made that statement. And TTD is never under the management of individuals, it's under the management of the state government. It's one of the best well-oiled machine. It runs, it's amazing, it's the highest efficiency, the quality of food, everything is great. But when there is a report, as a chief minister, it's his responsibility to put it out. If he didn't put it out, sitting here you would question me saying, why didn't you put that report out? I think he's just doing what he believes is right. In the past, we've made allegations, and it's rightfully so, on liquor, on sand. Supreme Court, there's a case going on the sand mafia of Andhra Pradesh. So all these are facts. So you cannot say that I shouldn't use the law, for the people who have broken the law. They have to face music. No second thoughts about it. But by no means is it vendetta politics.
So let me just push you one last time on this. Do you worry sometimes that the brutal competitive politics turns the gaze away from the real issues? The real issues should be of governance. People want better governance. Absolutely. However, on the ground, politicians are busy fighting out their battles, defecting from one side to the other, and thereby a lot of energy is invested and wasted in fighting these battles. And is Andhra Pradesh one of those states that could lose out as a result?
Absolutely not. We are not going to lose out. Saying that, Andhra Pradesh in the 90s had an amazing democracy where in the house both parties would fight on issues or on the bill till the wee hours, till 2, 3 in the morning. But today it doesn't exist, and it's very unfortunate. Debate needs to happen, discourse needs to happen. It's very unfortunate that the opposition has decided not to come to the house for whatever numbers they have.
They're saying you're not allowing Jagan to even be the leader of the opposition.
He is the leader of his party. Who am I to allow him or not allow him? But leader of opposition Leader of opposition definition is quite clear. The rule, the parliamentary rules and the assembly rules states that he needs to have 10% of the constituent assembly. He doesn't have that. So he expects me to break the rule for him. I think that's very unfair. We are law-abiding citizens. We are not here to break any rules.
Okay, let's look ahead. 42-year-old politician. How do you see the next decade? Are you the heir apparent? You know, in the South, we started off with dynasty politics. We're going to look back, as we end, we are coming back to that because we're seeing in Tamil Nadu, Udaynidhi Stalin rising and becoming deputy chief minister. Next time when you come to the India Today conclave, will you be deputy chief minister? Is that the way the Telugu Desam, like many regional parties, has a clear line of succession? Are you the successor, anointed successor of Chandrababu Naidu ji?
See, it is for the people of Andhra Pradesh to decide who will lead them. It is not for Mr. Naidu to decide. So people of Andhra Pradesh will decide on that, number one. Number two, if you just look at my journey, I've always taken a road less traveled. I've contested in a constituency that Telugu Desam party has not won since 1985. I lost in 2019 by 5,300 votes. I stuck at it, fought, and this time around I won it with 91,000 majority, which is the third highest in Andhra Pradesh. HRD ministry is the most toughest ministry. And I chose it because
HRD ministry is the most tough ministry?
Yeah, it is.
Why?
We have amazing unions. Teacher unions are very strong. And I believe that's where change should start. Change should start from education. I believe that we have a very important role to play. And that's where I've chosen a road less traveled, and I believe in that. And it's for the people of Andhra Pradesh to decide who sits where.
Today is Women's Day. And I believe that your wife is a very powerful, strong woman, as is your mother. In fact, I heard that they were very successful. Your mother set up a very successful business enterprise. Yep. What have you learned from your wife and your mother? On Women's Day, you can tell us, are they the real power in the Naidu family? Yeah. You don't see them much in the public eye, but they're the ones, I'm told, that perhaps are the real driving force in the family.
Well, my wife pays my credit card bills.
Really?
She does. So we are second generation entrepreneurs. So the other side of Mr. Naidu is that he's a successful entrepreneur. He started a dairy company way back in the 90s, and it's a listed company, has a close to about 4,500 crores of market cap. And now my wife Brahmani is the executive director of that company, and she runs it day to day. If there's something that I should learn from her, it's work-life balance. She does it far better than I could have ever imagined. She takes care of the business. We have only one son, Devansh, so she takes up all the responsibility of taking care of him. And then, of course, she has the other son, which is me. And she's busy calling me in the evening, lecturing me about my health, and I need to take care of things, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, work-life balance, I believe women do a much, much better job than men do. And I think we have a lot to learn from them in that sense. Saying that, I don't believe that Women's Day should be one day. It should be celebrated every day. And as HRD minister, we are doing a lot of changes in our curriculum, starting from household chores. Why should the photos be all women? So from this year, it's 50-50. It's going to be men and women doing household chores, the pictures in our textbook. So I believe transformation should happen from education.
I love the way you said that 4,500 crores market cap so casually. That's what makes the southern politicians different. They don't wear their money on their sleeve, right? But the truth of the matter is, as you said, this has been quite a journey for you. Particularly the last few years. Was there ever a moment of doubt, a moment of darkness, telling your wife, let's go back and live on the West Coast? Might be much easier to be in San Francisco or go back to the Stanford campus. What are we doing in the Badlands of Rayalaseema and Kakinada and wherever else?
Oh, Padayatra couldn't stop me, but when Mr. Naidu was arrested, there was this movement where my wife told me, she said, is this worth it? As a family, we've had so much of respect. We've lived at a certain level. Is this worth it? He's behind bars. Why are we doing all this? What's the point? But that very evening in Hyderabad, 45,000 IT professionals came together to do a gratitude concert for Mr. Naidu. And this was on a day when there's a cricket match. 45,000 IT professionals came. And it was apolitical. We didn't organize it. They did it on their own. And that made it worth it. And that's when we all felt that we should do this. This is worth it. And that's why we've committed our life all over again to the service of the citizens of India and Andhra Pradesh.
By the way, Lokesh is a man of many parts. He's also a great cricket fan. You might have spotted him at the India-Pakistan match in Dubai. Are you going tomorrow to watch the match and taking me along with you? We can go and watch. I believe there's a box that the Andhra Pradesh Cricket Association has. We have the secretary of the APCA also here. So should we go and watch the match, and who's going to win?
I have assembly come Monday, so I better be here.
Now, I've got a news bulletin 9 p.m. on Monday, but we can watch the match and fly back from Dubai. But who's going to win?
Oh, India, all the way.
Okay.
Really excited. Can't wait to watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, Lokesh is a man of many parts, and in this half hour, we've tried to discover those various parts. He's focused on governance, focused on IT, he's done the Padayatras, done the hard yards, and thereby, in a sense, has sent out a message to other political dynasts that if you really want to rise, you've got to hit the ground, be willing to take the road less traveled, and have strong women along the way with you. I remember, as I said at the outset, interviewing your grandfather. I'll just ask him any memories of the great NTR? Do you have any memories at all? He made me interview him at 5 a.m. in the morning. Do you get up at 5 a.m.?
No, I sleep at 3 a.m., so there's no way I'm getting up at 5. I'm a full-time politician. No, but saying that, I mean, he's a larger-than-life personality. And every time I would go there, typically on our birthdays too, take his blessings, my mom would warn me, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. But when you go there, the kind of love and affection he would have for his grandkids, so it was just amazing. So that's my fond memory of my grandfather.
N.T. Ramarao founded Telugu Desam in 1983, won an election in just 6 months. Quite a remarkable career, charismatic figure. Chandrababu Naidu, in many ways, one of the real builders of modern Hyderabad. Nara Lokesh has big shoes to fill, but he started off on that journey. For joining us here at the India Today Conclave, thank you very much, Nara Lokesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashid.
Thank you. Thank you.